Welcome to A Great Glass, the podcast where we raise a toast to remarkable people, inspiring stories, and meaningful moments that surround the world of drinks. I'm Sonal Holland, India's only master of wine, and today I have the immense honor of sitting down with a true pioneer, a man who believed in Chilean wine before the rest of the world caught on. He's the founder of Montes, Chile's most iconic wine label, and widely celebrated as the man who put Chile on the world wine map. Aurelio Montes Sr., welcome to our show.
Sonal, so nice to be with you here in Mumbai.
Thank you.
It's a dream.
Thank you. But first things first, I want to ask you, Aurelio, is it Chile or is it Chile? Because a lot of us Indians keep talking about that.
It's Chile. It's Chile, it's cold. Chile, it's good for wines.
Chile.
Chile.
Excellent. And what's in your glass today?
Well, we have today our Montes Alpha Cabernet Sauvignon. It's one of our iconic wines, that made the famous brand Montes known around the world, because it's got a very nice, appealing name.
Yes.
And the wine, it's a tremendous value for money. It's a blend. It's in 85% of Cabernet, 15% of Merlot.
Yeah.
And they match so well the two varieties. Made out in Colchagua Valley, which is about 150 kilometers south of Santiago, and with a perfect sort of climate and soil. And it's the one that gave us, the fame of Montes in a short period, in only 35 years.
Fantastic. Well, I've had the pleasure of having this wine before, and I recently also tried it with some Indian kebabs and made a video about it, which was very well received. But more importantly, I actually enjoyed the pairing. I think the Montes Alpha Cabernet Sauvignon actually has the potential to pair with a wide range of Indian foods because it's just so ripe and luscious and very generous on the palate. And I think that kind of works really well with a wide range of Indian dishes. So how old were you when you started Montes?
I was 39 years old.
Okay.
5 kids at home.
Wow.
So I had to make a living. That was hard. But the story, it's nice and reveals, the passion that I have for wine and the willingness to explore and to discover new places. And the story, very quickly told, is that I started working for Undurraga Winery, a pretty well-known winery in Chile, in Maipo Valley, for 12 years. Then I came to San Pedro Winery, one of the biggest wineries, in Chile, for another 4 or 5 years. And then the company was sold, and the new owner came with his own staff, technological staff, viticulturists, winemakers, managers, and so on. So when I was 39 and 5 kids at home, I was just fired, and I became a jobless, which was a hard period of my life.
Wow.
Very hard. And then I had the decision to how to continue with my life. And I had 2 alternatives. One was to re-employ myself in another winery, because at that stage I was already more or less known. I had been already 15 years in the wine market as a winemaker. Or start with the dream that no one else in Chile have made, that is to create high-level quality wines from Chile, world-class wines coming from the wonderful climatic conditions, the fantastic valleys that we have, those great mountains and climatic conditions, and even the people. We have had, enology for nearly 500 years. So there's, a talent of the people, to work in wine. So everything was in place to create something different that no one else ever thought. So I did it.
So that was a really unconventional and a bold move on your part to make. Did you have enough money to start Montes at the time?
No, not at all. When I decided to start with this, I said, okay, I know how to make wine. Then I invited my dear partner, Douglas Murray, that he was so talented in marketing.
Yeah.
So I told Douglas, you know how to sell, I know how to do the wine, we make a team. But then we needed money. So we invited a third partner that we thought he was rich, but he was not at the end. But anyway, he was very helpful. and then a fourth partner that he owned a winery and a little vineyard, and I owned a little vineyard as well. From my beginning, I bought a little piece of land with a very old vineyard. So we have the very basics, but we had no money. So we started little by little.
This is fascinating to learn, because now when I look at you today and I look at how big Montes as a brand has become and the power and the respect that it holds in the wine world, and just looking at your charisma, I don't know why I always kind of assumed that you came from a very affluent sort of a background, and that you built Montes on the back of a lot of investments even in the early days.
Of my father or grandfather, not at all.
Or something like that, yes.
The Chilean entrepreneurs were shy. They always told me, no, you cannot compete against France, Spain, Italy, even Australia or Napa Valley. So Chile should stay at the level of a basic wine, good value for money. And I say, no, that's unfair. We got, the humble current. We got the Andes Mountains. We got beautiful valleys. We have gorgeous mountains. We have good talented people. We have good varieties that were brought in the 19th century. We had already Cabernet, Merlot, Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, the good varieties. So why stay here? Let's give a step forward. Let's go for something better. So we did it. And we started with a revolution in viticulture.
Right.
First of all, we changed a little bit our plants that were already a little bit, over-reproduced since 100 years. So they had some viroses and some diseases. So we wanted to create something new. So I made a deal with a French nursery, and I brought brand new plants with new DNA, no virus or whatever, sickness or disease.
Yes.
So we started with a revolution in the viticulture. And then we created the quality that we wanted, and the market was prepared. So the entrepreneurs were afraid that no one would accept a Chilean wine of a higher value. They were wrong. When we came with the wine, they accepted it.
But when you speak of acceptance, was your earliest markets domestic or export markets? Did you always build with the intention of exporting, or you wanted to make wine for the Chileans?
Always export.
Okay.
There's a saying that maybe you have it in India: no one is a prophet in his own land. If I were to start in Chile, I'm Chilean, with a brand of a high price and good quality, they would tell me, "Oh, come on, we know you. You're not able to produce a good wine." So it was easier for us to export to the US, to the UK, to Germany, even to Asia. It was easier. People would accept the challenge more than our locals.
A lot of Indians tend to drink Chilean wines and enjoy it.
Yeah.
Even if it's a simple wine, even if it's like an entry-level wine, they kind of tend to like the fruit-forward flavors that Chile has to offer, thanks to its, different diversity of climates that Chile enjoys. But how would you describe, in a sentence or two, the taste of Chilean wine?
Well, Chile, as I told you, is a paradise to grow grapes. We have the Pacific Ocean, which is pretty cold on the west. We have the Andes Mountains, one of the highest mountains in the world, on the east. Then we have the Atacama Desert, on the north, and then we have the icy Patagonia in the south. So, without being an island, we are an island in some way. We're totally isolated from phylloxera, peronospora, downy mildew, lots of diseases. So, we are able, and a very good climate, by the way. We have the winter, pretty winter with rain, a little bit in spring. Then we have a shiny summer normally, a little bit dry. So the grapes enjoy that. Grapes love to have sunlight and not too high humidity to be able to ripen totally. So if you ask me for the flavor of a Chilean wine, first of all, it reveals the variety very clearly. Cabernet tastes like a Cabernet.
Expressive and very typical.
Absolutely. The Merlot is a Merlot, the Syrah is a real Syrah, Petit Verdot, and so on. So that's number one. Secondly, because of the climatic conditions, we can wait all what the winemaker needs in terms of ripening to pick the grapes.
Right.
We don't have to rush because the weather is not behaving. We're nearly organic in Chile. We spray very little. against the red mite, a little bit against botrytis, and that's it. So we're very clean, and we can pick the grapes when the taste is really at its perfect point. And we got, the expression of the variety very clear. So this makes Chile so exciting. The price point for the quality, I would say, is unbeatable. If you have a Montes Alpha Cabernet in the US market for $15 retail or 17, there's no wine at that price point that can compete with this wine.
With this wine.
The quality that we have here, if it's French, it would be maybe triple price. It would be $50.
How was it possible to do so much so quickly? Because in the wine business, people take hundreds and sometimes generations to build this level of reputation. How did you manage to steer forward so quickly? Is that a magic formula?
I will put it in very easy words.
Okay.
We were in the sea and we saw a beautiful wave coming. No one else saw it. We were surfing.
What was that wave?
We jumped on the board, and we surfed the wave when no one else saw it, because I had already the vision of the international market, because I was a winemaker that I had the chance to travel a lot, to Europe, to the US, and so on. And I knew what the market was demanding, and I knew that we could produce it. So that was the wave. The wave was bringing all the elements that we needed to create a high-level wine, high-quality wine. Then I saw it, I jumped into my boat, and I surfed the way all the way up to the beach, when no one else saw it. And then many others followed.
The power of right time, right place, right
absolutely.
thing. How does one strike a balance between quality, quantity, and also building a personal brand? Because look at you, you're the best ambassador for your own brand. So you managed to tick all these three boxes, something which a lot of brand owners struggle with, not just in the wine industry, but in any industry for that matter. How did you manage to strike all the three boxes?
I think that it's so important to be yourself, the owner, and the winemaker is something that not every winery has. Lots of wineries, or maybe 99%, it's owned by a rich family, whatever, and they have a team of winemakers. But when you are the one behind and you build the brand and you are the owner and you want to beat the market, that puts you in a very special position that is not easy to find. Today, even my son now is following my steps, and I'm working with Aurelio Jr., that he's also a winemaker, because we intend to continue this as a family business. But I think that was one of the key issues, of how to go very fast. And the other very key important issue is that we were 4 partners at the beginning. Now I'm alone. Sadly, my other 3 passed away. But we were so different, one of the other.
You all complemented each other.
I knew what my marketing partner was doing, and if I thought that it was totally sensible, I said, okay, go on. When I propose something to technically, everyone tell me, if you think it's the correct thing to do, go for it. So we manage as a team very, very well.
And you never had any disagreements, because in any partnership there is...
No, because I didn't understand the marketing. They didn't understand the winemaking. So everyone was the owner of his own parcel. But each of the 4 parcels made a whole.
You think the name being short, easy to pronounce, also helped build the export market?
Absolutely. You can pronounce Montes, in your language, in Indian, in Finnish, in Danish, in English, in German. Montes is Montes in China, in Japan, everywhere. Weird names. The Greek, for example, they have awful names in Greece.
So global name, global taste.
Absolutely.
Right? Appeals to everyone.
The Germans.
But I like the point you make about maintaining the authenticity. At the end of the day, one should never lose their authentic style.
Absolutely. People say Montes got a style, and the style is there. Slightly different, but it's still there. The line is very, very continuous.
Interesting. Well, Purple Angel is a very interesting name, and again, a
is.
wine that has won so many accolades
Absolutely.
and so much praise around the world. How did the name come to you?
Well, the name came because, it's 92% of Carmener and an 8% of Petit Verdot. And the Carmener, it's a grape that is so generous. When you pick the grapes and you bring them to the cellar, as soon as you pour the grapes into the machinery or do the crushing, immediately so purple from the very beginning. It's so strong. So we always thought that purple is equal to Carmener. An angel, if you look at, you will see angels everywhere.
Everywhere, yes.
Everywhere. And the angel is because one of my partners, the marketing man, Douglas Murray, he loved cars, he had very good cars, and he was an awfully bad driver. So it's the worst combination that you can have. A good car, in the hands of a guy that doesn't drive pretty well.
Yeah.
So he had two very severe car crashes in which if you look at the car, you say, well, no one survived here. But nothing happened to him. After the crash, he just stepped out of the car and walked without a scratch.
Wow.
So Douglas told us, guys, I got a very powerful guardian angel. Let's invite a fifth partner into this company, this guardian angel. We think it's a good idea. So we put an angel in every bottle. So we have a purple angel, we have a serious angel, we have an elegant angel, and in the folly we have a drunken angel.
But they're all the same angel, right?
Yeah, but we have a drunken angel in the folly.
Right.
Why a tipsy angel there, a drunk angel? Because the artist that made the label, which is Ralph Steadman from England, he used to work for Oddbins. He's one of the most famous caricaturists, in England. He made, the wall for Pink Floyd, the music. And he's kind of crazy. So he said, the wine is so good that the angel must be drunk. The angel cannot be a serious one.
That really is a beautiful story, actually. And I'm happy to know and say that the angel is still there. The other partners, I'm sure, are also there in spirit, but the angel lives on with you, right?
He lives with me, yeah.
Yes, that's wonderful.
And we don't have to pay any salary.
That's a good one. Especially when you have investors with no money. And you launched a label called The Muse to celebrate your love and to express your love with your wife, to your wife. Tell us about that. How did that come about?
Well, The Muse at some point, after 35 years of the company and 51 years doing wine myself as a winemaker, I say, I think it's time to pay a tribute, to the women of my life that have been so supportive. And I'm speaking even of my mother, that knew my beginning as a winemaker, my wife that has been with me, all my married life, my daughters, I got 3 daughters, and my granddaughters, that I have 10 granddaughters.
You're surrounded by women.
Surrounded by women. So it's time to make a tribute to all the women that have been so supportive in all this adventure of creating. So I called it Muse. Muse, it's a tribute to the women in an elegant way.
That's lovely.
And the basic wine, it's not from Colchagua Valley where I am. It comes from Maipe Valley, where I started working. So there's another very emotional meaning. I started in Maipe Valley with Undurraga as an employee. So the grapes come from Maipo, and the tribute is to all the women of my life.
Since you mentioned your mother, what's the most important lesson you learned from her?
Oh, fight hard.
Suddenly from wine to childhood.
Work hard. She was English. My second name is English. My grandfather came from London to Chile. So she was English. She was tough, like every English woman. And she taught me to not to give up. Keep on pushing. Keep on fighting. You will reach, your dream at some point. I think that was, the way she pushed me, and she was so proud when I started with Montes. She knew about Montes before she passed away, so she was so proud. So that's why I needed, to make an homage, a tribute.
Yeah, you needed to make it happen. Aurelio, the story of you getting fired in your job and then going on to build Montes's best winery is really very, very inspirational to a lot of our young viewers as well, who are constantly looking for words of wisdom and inspiration. So what advice would you give to somebody who has dreams but doesn't know where to start, what to do? There's always that fear of, will I succeed, will I fail? Do I have it in me? Do I have the money to do it? Maybe not, like you didn't. What sort of words of wisdom would you like to give some of our young viewers?
Number one, try to find something different. Don't keep on doing what already has been done. It's boring. Try to do maybe something that was already done, like the wine, but I took, a path that was totally different. You see, so that would be number one. Second, work hard. Early birds, If you start early in the morning and late at night, maybe you will sacrifice a little bit of friendship, of your family, but it's the only way to really succeed. And if you have a dream, don't stop following it. Keep on fighting for it. The dreams are to be fulfilled, not to sit upon them. So go, keep on doing until you succeed, and success will come. That's for sure.
You're such a passionate winemaker. When you're not thinking about making wine, what else are you doing?
Well, I have lots of hobbies. I do a little bit of golf. I'm awfully bad player because I play only once or twice a month.
I wouldn't know. I know nothing about golf.
But I enjoy, I'm very social. I love to be with people and talk to people and so on. So golf is something that I do with certain, frequency. And what I love the most, it's sailing. I have a boat in Patagonia. That is part of my story as a winemaker as well, and I will tell you that as well. And I love flying. I've been flying for nearly 40 years.
Wow,
so
that's
I'm
impressive. So there's no walking for you, Aurelio. Basically, you're either
walking.
sailing or you're flying
Yeah.
or doing something supernatural, but there's clearly no walking.
Yeah. And flying, it's a passion, of course. I love a little bit living with a little bit of risk. It's something that brings me adrenaline. But it's so useful for my sort of work. I have to move from one winery to a vineyard and another winery. So for me, flying my helicopter, it's something.
So where do some of your best ideas come from? Does failure not scare
bravery.
you? It's probably late now because now you've succeeded too many times. But in the beginning?
Let me tell you something that is very good for young people.
Okay.
To be successful in life, you first have to fail. It's the only way to appreciate success. If you're always successful, you will never get the sweet taste of success. When you fall down and you eat ground and you are really depressed and very low, and you start with success, you get the sweet taste of success. If you don't fail first, so you must fail to appreciate success.
That's very valuable.
I
in fact have another extended theory to this as well. I almost believe that success comes almost after the worst failure, the worst of its kind. Like when you're at your lowest,
absolutely,
there should be a voice inside you that tells you that you are almost a hairpin bend away from succeeding. Because I almost believe that failure is like a sieve. It's like a filtering mechanism to remove those who are not meant for that success. Because if we all could persevere through a smooth road, then success would belong to everybody. But success doesn't belong to everybody. Success only belongs to a few. But how do you filter out the ones that are not meant for it? Failure therefore must come in the way of adversities and all other things. And it's almost like I feel that when you are at your lowest, as you just said, like at your most depressed, is one should think of it as a sign that I'm probably just like success is just around the corner or a hairpin bend away.
Absolutely.
And most people drop out at that stage. Most people give up. Most people pull back. But the ones who persevere see the rainbow.
Well, absolutely. That's the second part of it. I would say it's all about achieving your dream and happiness. It's not about money. When you get, a big pile of money, you're in a second problem. You have to do something with the money.
And you make some enemies as well along the way.
So richness is not, the formula to be happy. The richness is not the formula. It's a part, but it's not the formula. So I would say that success is when you achieve what you were looking for, and when you look backwards, you say, I don't know if I would be able to do it again. Because it's been so hard. When I look backwards, I say, I was fired. I had 5 kids at home. I didn't know what to do. And I started with a little company, and I was bottling the wines, I was putting labels, and then I fall down a couple of times in the process of creating Montes, of course. And now I see a full-grown company in 100 countries around the world with a pretty well-renowned name. And I look backwards and I said, how did I do it?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would be able to do it again. I think that's a fulfillment of...
It's phenomenal. What you're saying is so profound. Like, life always looks so great when seen in hindsight. Like, people ask, how did you do it? Tell me the formula. I want to follow it. And sometimes there is no formula.
There's no formula.
There is no formula. And just not worry about what's not working. If you try 100 different things as you have, like you've always acted upon your feeling or your belief or your conviction, and some things worked out, most things worked out, some things didn't work out, but you just don't worry about what didn't work out. You kind of just move forward with what does,
And be prepared for the failure, because you can fail, of course. I've had some failures, For example, not all of the varieties that I planted in Patagonia worked in Apalta. Some varieties didn't work, and some others worked beautifully. So you have to be prepared for some sort of failure as well. So be prepared for that and keep on moving forward.
Excellent. I believe this is your 3rd visit to India, Aurelio.
Yes.
When you think of India sitting back home, or when you're speaking about India to somebody, how do you see it?
I feel so well here. When I look at India, I see a gem, a beautiful jewel, not really polished and worked. It's there. It needs to be polished, it needs to be worked, you have to come into it. That's why I'm here. I don't sell much of my wine here, but I believe that it will be the future. It's the country that will save the world.
That's beautifully put, actually. I'm kind of pausing just to reflect on what you just said. It's a jewel that needs polishing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. We have a lot of young consumers who are curious, who don't know much about wine, who want to learn about wine. What's your general advice? How should somebody start their journey in wine according to you? Or how should they encourage their journey in wine?
Yeah. Well, I would start, buying. I would go for easy wines, maybe single variety. Try to find out, in red wines you have Cabernet, Merlot, Syrah, Cab Franc, the ones that normally from Chile we produce, and there are many more, of course.
Of course.
And from whites, we're getting amazing Sauvignon Blanc, Chardonnay, Alvarinhos out of Chile. So I would choose a single variety of medium price, not very expensive, and go through them and make your choice. Normally those style of wines that are non-expensive, they will be easier to drink.
Yes.
They won't be with full body. They will be lower in alcohol. there will be a good beginning to start.
They'll also be more food compatible because they are
absolutely,
because they're
absolutely.
not dominating in the way they're structured.
Yeah.
So
and maybe read a little bit, or if there's a little seminar of one class, maybe you are a great teacher, you know, maybe a couple of lessons of Sonal, you know, to a group of young people explaining what's about the flavor of a Sauvignon Blanc, the elegance of a Chardonnay, the pureness of an Alvarinho, the power of the Cabernet, the softness of a Syrah, how sensual. You know, the Syrah is a sensual wine. You want to bite it. It's got a certain sensuality. So go and study a little bit, but start easy. Single variety, not too expensive, and learn to enjoy it.
And love the wine you're drinking. I mean, just don't fuss over it. Just start somewhere.
Yeah, and if you're disappointed of one,
what is the most overrated wine trend according to you, or any wine myth that you find a little bugging?
Well, I think that there are some new trends in winemaking that I'm not really
excited by.
Excited about that. Yeah, I would say that the no alcohol wines very hard to understand. There's a group of people that are looking for that sort of very weird sort of style of wine, but if you take, you know, the alcohol, you're taking the soul of the wine. The alcohol is the soul of the wine in the correct proportion. I'm not very fond with the orange wine, for example, the natural wine. I'm more into the well elaborated and looked after. Because all these wines, orange, natural, and seem to be a little bit abandoned wines that they just put it in the bottle, and they are oxidized, and they're, you know, weird colors and weird tastes. So I would go for a little more well looked after,
well brought
wines.
up, good upbringing,
well brought
good
up.
élevage, as we say.
Yeah, good élevage. That's correct. So I still believe in that.
Yeah.
Trends come and go, so maybe all this non-alcoholic, orange, natural, this and that, they will come and they will go, but the typical, elegant, sophisticated, good wine will stay forever.
Yeah, I think my biggest concern about no alcohol wine also is that always, every time I've met you, you've been so inspirational. You're so good at telling stories in the most fascinating way. How many followers do you have on Instagram?
Well, I have a lot of followers. I have 65,000 today.
That's very good.
So I could sell soap or shampoo maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, but wine, of course, it's my passion, and the followers are all wine lovers.
We're very, very honored to have you here this morning in Mumbai. And I'm glad that you've kickstarted your India tour by spending time with us this morning. And for those of us who want a bit of Aurelio and want to spend a bit of time and want to understand his story, hopefully you will pick up many, many valuable nuggets of advice and stories that he has woven in our chat today. So I really want to thank you, Aurelio, for your valuable time and for telling us all, and for also sharing your wine with us.
No, this is my pleasure. And if I look, you asked me, how do you see India? I told you it's a gem about to be polished, and you are the polisher. I think that you are playing such an important role, you know, being the only master of wine of India. And I love to be with you. I love to talk of wine with you, and you will play such an important role in the future of India.
There were so many things that you were saying in our chat today, which I could resonate with myself, you know, in terms of adversity, believing in your dreams, embracing failure, persevering through it all. There's so many things even I related as part of my journey. But the way you were telling yours, I didn't want to interject. So whatever, you know, that's for another day. But thank you. Well, you and I both have to polish. Keep polishing.
Absolutely. Let's keep on polishing it.
Yeah, so let's cling glasses to that.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers, Aurelio. Thank you.
Thank you.